Single black father's act of kindness for his boss reveals an incredible life-changing secret. Marcus burst through the door, greeted by the familiar symphony of laughter and chaos from his two children. The cramped apartment vibrated with their voices, a stark contrast to the struggle that weighed heavy on his heart. Just months ago, they'd been a complete family, blessed with love and joy. Now, it was just Marcus, a single black father navigating life alone after the sudden passing of his beloved wife. As he dropped his work backpack and embraced the warmth of his kids, he reminded himself, hard work and resilience were the values he needed to instill in them. His nights dragged into early mornings as he juggled two jobs to make ends meet. The first at a local diner, the second at Mr. Thompson's corner store. The elderly man relied on Marcus more than he realized. But somewhere deep inside, Marcus sensed the frail gray-haired shopkeeper struggled silently, perhaps weighed down by more than just age or bills. One day, while restocking the shelves, a group of customers gathered around the counter. Their laughter grew louder, dripping with mockery as they pounced on Mr. Thompson's outdated stock and weathered appearance. Anger surged through Marcus. "Hey," he shouted, stepping forward. "You wouldn't be standing here if it weren't for Mr. Thompson's years of dedication to this community." His words echoed, slicing through the ridicule, drawing curious glances. Marcus felt an unexpected thrill of solidarity in that moment. The old man met his gaze, appreciation lighting up his weary eyes. Their shared struggles, though shaped by different skin colors and lifetimes, forged a bond thicker than blood. As days turned into weeks, they exchanged stories and stolen moments, laughter mingling with sorrow as they unraveled life's complexities together. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. Yet calm waters turned stormy one afternoon when Marcus learned about an impending housing crisis. He felt that gut-wrenching twist of panic in his chest. He could lose everything: his beloved kids, their memories, the very home that echoed with laughter. Torn between his family's survival and his compassion for Mr. Thompson, whose shop he now cared about deeply, Marcus faced a heart-shattering dilemma. Days later, Mr. Thompson invited him to the back of the store as shutters hugged the sunlight. Trembling hands revealed the old man's secret, a tangled lineage that united them in ways they never anticipated. The air thickened with weighty silence, tension building between them as words slipped out like velvet spells breaking the quiet. What would this revelation mean for Marcus? Would it alter their destinies forever, challenging everything he believed about family, loyalty, and community? As Marcus stood at the crossroads of truth, he realized the indelible connection shared could redefine hope itself. Gripping the loss of his wife and the future of his children, he now wondered, could he anchor his family through this storm, alongside the very man whose shop held their fragile hopes? Marcus's heart raced as he processed Mr. Thompson's words. The revelation hung in the air like a fragile ornament, threatening to shatter with the slightest breath. The old man had shared a truth that twisted their lives together in ways Marcus couldn't yet grasp. "You're saying we're family?" he finally uttered, searching the aged face of his boss for clarity. "More than you know," Mr. Thompson replied, his voice barely above a whisper, trembling with age and emotion. "Your mother was my sister. We lost touch over the years, but I never forgot her. I never forgot you." For a moment, the world dimmed around them, the distant hum of traffic, the bustle of customers, all faded into a muffled blanket of noise. It was as if they stood on a remote island of understanding, the weight of loneliness they both carried feeling just a little lighter. "How is that possible?" "My mother never spoke of you," Marcus probed, instincts firing. Each word was laced with disbelief, and yet, deep down, something in him felt an undeniable pull toward this newfound truth. Mr. Thompson wiped his brow, trying to rein in the surge of emotion that threatened to overflow. Life had a way of pulling us in different directions. She wanted to protect you, but she also wanted to keep you away from the pain of our family's struggles. There was a quiet strength in his gaze, a mixture of pride and regret that reached out and wrapped around Marcus's heart. As he stood there, the gravity of the moment sunk in. Memories of his mother flooded back, her laughter, the warmth of her hugs, the love that filled their home. Could this man be the bridge to a family he hadn't known existed? Why didn't he reach out sooner? He asked, desperation creeping into his voice. I wanted to, Mr. Thompson admitted. But after your mother passed, I thought maybe it was too late. And then I saw you, and I was terrified. Terrified you wouldn't want anything to do with me. Marcus stepped back, trying to digest this tidal wave of emotions. I'm just trying to keep my kids safe and give them the life their mother wanted for them. The words tumbled out, heavy with his heartache. I don't know how to navigate this. I don't know how to be family. As those words left his lips, he felt exposed, vulnerable. But in that moment, he saw the glint of understanding reflected in Mr. Thompson's eyes. You're already doing it, Marcus. Family doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be there. A surge of warmth spread through him. Could he really take the plunge into this connection? It might hold the key to everything he was fighting for: his children's future, his own healing. Silence sat thick between them before Mr. Thompson finally broke through. There's a lot I can share about our family. You'll need to be ready, though. It'll change everything. What do you mean? Marcus's brow furrowed. Secrets from the past and perhaps an opportunity for your future. His heart jumped. What secrets could change their lives? What opportunities awaited them? As uncertainty danced in the air, the truth felt both daunting and exhilarating. The door to the store bell jingled, breaking their moment. Marcus turned to see his children peeking around the corner, eyes wide with curiosity. Daddy! Are you done working? They chimed together, pulling him back into the chaos of everyday life. He turned toward Mr. Thompson, feeling a silent pact forming between them. We're just getting started, kids, he said, an unfamiliar thrill of hope igniting inside him. What lay ahead was a tangled mix of challenges and revelations, and as Marcus held onto his children's hands, he couldn't shake the thought lingering at the back of his mind: could this newfound connection be the lifeline they all needed, or would it throw them deeper into turmoil? As Marcus knelt to gather his children in a hug, the worries seemed to lift for just a moment. The warmth of their little bodies next to his reminded him why he fought so hard every day. But as he rose to his feet, the heaviness of Mr. Thompson's words still clung to him like an old coat, both comforting and suffocating. Kids, this is Mr. Thompson. He's a really important person to me, Marcus said, his voice barely rising above a whisper. His children observed Mr. Thompson with wide eyes, sensing the shift in their dad's demeanor. Hi! They chirped in unison, an infectious smile lighting their faces. Mr. Thompson returned the gesture, but Marcus noticed the fleeting sadness in his eyes as he looked at them. It was the kind of sadness that whispered of lost time, of family untethered. Nice to meet you both, he said, his voice low but steady. Your dad and I were having an important conversation. He glanced at Marcus, as if weighing whether to plunge deeper into the ocean of family revelations or hold back for another time. What was it about? His youngest asked innocently, tugging at Marcus's shirt. It's about family, Marcus replied, feeling the need to shield them from the complexity of the moment. Sometimes families can be bigger than we think. A lot of surprises come with that. 5-year-old Lily looked up with her big, curious eyes. Like a treasure hunt? Yes. Exactly like a treasure hunt, Marcus laughed, playing along. You never know what you're gonna find until you start looking. Suddenly, his words felt heavier than intended. There was a treasure to find, but it could also bring burdens he wasn't ready to carry, or worse, what if it opened old wounds, as they finished their little moment, Mr. Thompson's gaze locked onto Marcus's again. Perhaps we should talk some more, away from the noise? I have old photos stories that really paint a picture of your mother and the family. Marcus hesitated. Wariness bubbled up within him. The last thing he wanted was to dredge up painful memories in front of his children. He stammered, grappling with the pull of curiosity and the desire to protect. But something deeper urged him to consider it. The possibility of knowing more about his mother, about her family. It might help him understand where he came from, and that could change everything. Okay, he finally said, his heart racing with apprehension. But let us keep it simple for now. Just us adults first. I might need a little time to figure out how to explain all this to the kids. Mr. Thompson nodded, respect painting the lines of his face as he stepped back. Take your time. I never meant to rush you. Turning back to his children, Marcus knew they were still too young to grasp the weight of truth they were just dipping their toes into. How about we go grab some ice cream? He suggested, bringing calm back to the scene. You both deserve a treat after being so patient with me at work. Yay! They squealed, excitement bubbling over. The moment's tension seemed to ebb away as they danced toward the door. As Marcus followed them out, he felt a bizarre mixture of fear and hope twisting in his stomach. Ice cream felt like a distraction from the storm brewing under the surface. But he needed to keep the peace for their sake. Yet under that pretense of normalcy, a question began to stir within him. Was he ready for the truths that awaited? What if the answers revealed a past that would shake the very foundation of their lives? The fresh air outside felt heavy as he ushered the kids into the car. They climbed in, laughter peppering the atmosphere until Lily turned serious. Daddy, do you ever miss your mom? The question hung in the air, tethering him to that fragile moment inside the store. Every day, he murmured, struggling to navigate emotions too deep for a child's heart. As he drove away, he glanced at Mr. Thompson through the rearview mirror, the old man's expression unreadable. And I think, Marcus whispered to himself, this is just the beginning. The ice cream shop was a vibrant swirl of color and sound, a stark contrast to the uncertainty swirling in Marcus's mind. He stepped inside, the familiar scent of waffle cones enveloping him like a warm hug. It always felt like a treat, a moment of joy carved out of busy lives. Laughter erupted from kids eagerly chattering about their selections. Okay, what's it gonna be? He asked, kneeling down to meet Lily and her brother's excited gazes. I want chocolate chip cookie dough. Lily exclaimed, bouncing on her heels. Can I have rainbow sprinkles? Her brother, Max, chimed in, tugging at Marcus's pant leg. 2 scoops coming right up, he replied, trying to maintain a cheerful facade while the shadows in his heart lingered. The server turned to him, flooding the moment with chatter about the new flavors and specials. Marcus managed polite nods and smiles, straining to focus on the sweetness around them instead of the heaviness that awaited him. As they devoured their cones at a little outdoor table, Max launched into tales of school, each story punctuated with exaggerated gestures and wide eyes. His innocent enthusiasm made Marcus smile, yet it was bittersweet. Daddy, why do you look all silly? Max asked, noticing his father's distracted expression. Are you okay? Yeah, buddy, just thinking, Marcus said, feigning a bright smile. Ice cream always helps, right? The thought of asking them about their grandmother danced on the tip of his tongue, but he swallowed it down. They were only kids, after all. Once they finished, with faces smeared in delightful chaos, they jumped down from their seats, ready to explore the shop's outdoor setting. Marcus lingered, watching them, his heart swelling with love. Yet, his mind raced with questions about what lies ahead, about who he might find or what stories might weave through the fabric of his family's past. Was he ready for that? As he felt a tug at his shirt, he looked down to find Lily beaming up at him. Are we cousins with Mr. Thompson? The question surprised him. Her innocent curiosity only heightened the weight pressing down on him. That's a good question. Maybe we'll find out soon. Families can be a tricky thing full of surprises. Like treasure hunts? She asked, her little hands clasped together, eyes sparkling with wonder and trust. Exactly like treasure hunts, he replied, trying to push down the wave of mixed emotions. As they returned to the car, Marcus could feel the door to his past creeping open. Mr. Thompson had hinted at things that could change their lives. And yet, what if those things brought not just understanding, but confusion? The drive home was filled with chatter, but all he could think about was what he might discover if he chose to pursue those threads of connection. What would he tell his children about their family? What secrets would rise to the surface? When they returned home, Marcus heard a soft knock on the door as they entered. It was Mr. Thompson, standing there with an old album tucked under his arm. "I noticed you left this behind." His voice was steady but filled with an eagerness to unveil the past. "Can we talk?" Marcus's heart raced, a mix of dread and anticipation settling into his bones. This was it. The moment that could unravel everything or stitch it together. As he nodded slowly, the weight of what was about to unfold pulsed through him, settling in his stomach like an avalanche ready to spill. What truths would grace the pages of his mother's life, and how would they reshape his own? He took a deep breath, feeling the gravity of the moment, and stepped beyond the threshold. This was not just a conversation. It was the cue to dive into the heart of it all. What will you find when you open the album? He asked himself, the lingering question curling around his thoughts. The moment felt electric, and he knew something was about to change forever. Marcus stepped back into the familiar confines of his home, the door closing behind him with a soft click. Mr. Thompson moved past him into the living room, placing the old album with a gentle thud on the coffee table. The album's edges were frayed, the leather cover worn from years of handling. It felt like a portal to another time, and his heart raced at the thought of what lay inside. "Have a seat," Mr. Thompson offered, gesturing toward the couch. Marcus sank down, his eyes fixed on the album that seemed to pulse with untold stories. The children had scampered off to their room, blissfully unaware of the weighty moment unfolding in the room. As Mr. Thompson took a seat across from him, his expression was serious, almost solemn. "I thought it might be a good time to talk about your mom, and my sister," he said, his voice barely above a whisper. The mention of his mother struck Marcus like a bolt of lightning. Mr. Thompson looked down at the album, his fingers tracing the spine. "We didn't always see eye to eye. Families can be complicated." He paused, gathering his thoughts. The tension in the room was palpable. "Your mother and I were very close, more than you might know. There are things that could explain why we lost touch." His gaze was steady, filled with a mix of remorse and determination. "She deserves to be remembered." Marcus could feel the heaviness in those words, almost like an echoed promise. The mention of his mother tugged at his heart, urging him to dig deeper. "What do you mean?" he asked, leaning forward, eager to understand. Mr. Thompson opened the album slowly, revealing a kaleidoscope of faded photographs. The first page displayed a young woman with wild curls and bright eyes, her smile radiant. It took a moment for Marcus to recognize her. "Is that Mom?" he asked, disbelief dancing in his voice. "Yes, that's her at 18, Mr. Thompson replied, his voice softening. "She was full of life, filled with dreams, but she faced tough choices, too." Each turn of the page revealed snapshots of laughter and bonds shared, but also hints of trouble in the form of cryptic notes or letters hidden between the images. Marcus's pulse quickened, each revelation adding to the questions swirling in his mind. Why didn't she tell me about any of this? He breathed out, genuine confusion lacing his words. Sometimes, Mr. Thompson began, pausing to weigh his next words, there's a fear to revisit the past. She wanted to protect you. As Marcus flipped through more pages, images of family gatherings, holiday celebrations, and candid moments captured the essence of their shared history. But he felt something deeper lurking just beneath the surface. What else is there? What secrets does this hold? Look closer, Marcus. Some things are complicated but valuable. These memories can guide you, Mr. Thompson urged, and for the first time, Marcus saw the glimmer of hope in his eyes. Just then, the children burst into the room, their laughter cutting through the air like a bright ray of sunshine. "Daddy, can we make cookies?" Lily asked, tugging at Marcus's shirt. He turned towards her, momentarily distracted as the warmth of their joy flooded over him. But the album remained open on his lap, alive with questions that begged to be answered. That mixture of delight and unease swirled in his chest. "Sure, sweetie," he replied, standing up to join them, but not before glancing back at Mr. Thompson. "I need to know more about this. About her." "I'll be here," Mr. Thompson said, his tone reassuring. "When you're ready." As the smell of sugar and chocolate chips filled the kitchen, Marcus couldn't help but wonder what other truths were hidden beneath the surface of his family's past. Their laughter faded into the background as the weight of the album felt as solid as ever in his hand. He realized the path before him was more than a treasure hunt, it was a journey through love, pain, and revelations yet to come. He had to explore the past to prepare for the future, and he was scared and excited all at once. What would he uncover about his mother, and how would it shaped the stories he would tell Lily and Max? With the images and truths swirling in his mind, he found his resolve he would not let another moment of his family's history slip by unanswered. That evening, as they baked together, a thought flickered. What if openness is the real treasure? He wondered. He felt it deep within that the real journey was just beginning. The next morning arrived cloudy and still. Marcus woke up to the smell of burnt toast wafting into his room. His heart jumped a little, however comical the chaos of mornings with small children was, his heart swelled with warmth. He could hear laughter and the rhythmic sound of tiny feet running on the floor. He quickly threw on his clothes and made his way downstairs, where Lily and Max were already at the table, their faces smeared with jam, focusing intently on their creation of what appeared to be a unique toast art. "Look, Daddy. It's a rainbow!" Lily exclaimed, presenting her masterpiece like an artist unveiling a cherished work. "More like a toast monster." Marcus chuckled, ruffling her hair as he took a seat. He loved these moments, simple, pure joy wrapped up in laughter, but as they dived into breakfast, Marcus found his mind drifting back to the album. The photographs were vivid in his memory, each picture sparking a desire to learn more about the woman he'd lost too soon. Something told him that Mr. Thompson had pieces to a puzzle he desperately wanted to complete. "Hey kids," Marcus said, trying to keep his voice light. "What do you think about a little adventure today?" Max's eyes lit up. "Can we go to the park?" Lily piped up, "Or the zoo. I want to see the elephants." "Even better," Marcus said, gaining inspiration from the unwritten stories of the album. "How about we visit Grandpa Thompson instead? He has some cool stuff to show you." "But we saw him last week," Max complained, scrunching his little brows. "I know, buddy. But today is different. I want to show you something special." Marcus felt a flutter of excitement as the thought of unearthing more truths about his mom surged within him. After breakfast, as they piled into the car, the kids argued playfully over who would pick the music. Marcus played a light-hearted song that filled the space with warmth, but his heart raced in anticipation. They pulled up to Mr. Thompson's house, which looked just as it had on their last visit but felt infinitely more important this time. The air was thick with possibilities. As they settled down in the living room once again, Mr. Thompson welcomed them warmly, his eyes lighting up when he saw the kids. "What brings you over today?" he asked with a grin, a twinkle of curiosity in his gaze. Marcus hesitated, then decided to be forthright. "I was wondering if we could look at that album again. I feel like it has more to say." Mr. Thompson nodded, the light shifting from casual warmth to something deeper. "Of course. I think it's time we dive into those memories again." Marcus settled beside Mr. Thompson, the kids perched on the floor in front of them, eyes wide. Mr. Thompson opened the album, revealing the swirling colors of their family history once more. This time, as he pointed to the photographs, he began to share stories behind each image. With every story, laughter and tears flowed freely. There were tales of resilience and humor, heartaches and triumphs. But underneath the joyous moments, darker undertones began to weave their way into the stories, whispers of secrets held tightly, choices that changed everything. As Marcus listened intently, one photo in particular made him freeze. It was a picture of a party, a young woman and a man he recognized. "Is that her?" he asked, pointing at the man who was standing closely beside his mother, their faces lit by joy. "Yes," Mr. Thompson said, his voice grave. "This man, he was significant in your mother's life and not just as a friend." "Significant how?" His heart raced. This was the mystery he hadn't anticipated, a clue that felt both thrilling and frightening. Mr. Thompson took a deep breath. Sometimes the closest relationships have shadows. There's a reason she distanced herself, and it wasn't entirely her choice. Marcus's mind spun. What could this mean? Suddenly, children's laughter echoed, cutting through the intensity of the moment. But for Marcus, it was as if the world had halted. He was on the verge of discovering something monumental, yet a deep unease began to creep in. What was she hiding? And why? He wondered, heart pounding. Mr. Thompson's next words hung in the air like a delicate thread waiting to snap. "There's more. Much more that might change how you see things about your mom, and even about yourself." Marcus's breath caught in his throat. What could possibly lie on the horizon of this journey? Would the truth bring light or only more darkness? Just then, the door creaked open, and as if summoned by fate, a figure appeared in the doorway. "Marcus." It was a voice he didn't expect to hear. "You need to come see this." The knot in Marcus's stomach tightened. What now? What new revelation awaited him just beyond the door? Marcus turned slowly towards the door, his pulse quickening as the familiar figure stepped inside. It was Jenna, one of his colleagues from work, a woman with an air of confidence and a knack for brewing the best coffee in the office. Her presence felt like a beacon, yet the urgency in her voice made his heart race with uncertainty. "Jenna? What are you doing here?" he asked, trying to mask his apprehension with a casual tone. "I was just in the neighborhood and thought I'd check on you guys," she said with a warm smile, but Marcus sensed there was more. Mr. Thompson looked puzzled but encouraging. "This sounds interesting. Do you want to share, Jenna?" Jenna hesitated for a moment, glancing at the kids who sat wide-eyed on the floor, taking in the atmosphere. "Well, it's about your mom, Marcus," she began, her voice steady but gentle. "I found something I think you should see." "What do you mean?" Marcus's stomach twisted, a mix of worry and curiosity washing over him. It was as if the universe had conspired to unearth everything he didn't yet know. "I was at the office last night, working late, and I stumbled upon an old file. It had your mother's name on it," she explained, her eyes not meeting his. "There were letters, and some photographs, things that were never shared." Marcus quickly shifted his focus back to Mr. Thompson, who seemed equally intrigued yet wary. The room grew silent, tension thick in the air. The kids, sensing the shift, leaned closer, their innocent smiles replaced with puzzled expressions. "What kind of letters?" Marcus asked, his voice barely above a whisper, fearing the answer he might hear. Jenna took a deep breath, her expression growing serious. "They were from the man in that photo, the one with your mother. He was trying to reach her, trying to explain things. It sounded like they had spoken pretty intimately. There were hints about secrets, unresolved feelings." The world faded away around Marcus as he processed her words. A whirlwind of emotions crashed over him: anger, confusion, sadness. Why hadn't anyone mentioned this before? How deep did the secrets run? What did he want to say? Marcus pressed, desperate for clarity. The truth felt just out of reach, and he craved it like air. "Honestly, I'm not sure. The file didn't include all the letters, just bits and pieces. There were conversations about decisions, a choice he made, something that might explain why your mother pulled away. It seemed important, Jenna continued, her voice steady but sympathetic. Bass of laughter drifted from Max, who had grabbed Lily's hand and was trying to initiate a silly dance to ease the tension. But Marcus hardly noticed. His heart raced as new questions floated into his mind. Was this man the reason for his mother's silence? Did he cause her pain? Can I see these? Where are they? Marcus stammered, adrenaline heightening his urgency. They're at my place, Jenna replied softly. I thought you might want to read them before anything else. It might help shed light on things you've been wondering about. Marcus clenched his fists, trying to focus through the whirlwind of emotions. This was more than he had anticipated, more than he was ready for. The answer to questions he had carried for years lay just outside his grasp. All right, Marcus said, steeling himself. Let us go get them. Mr. Thompson regarded him with a mixture of concern and respect. Just remember, Marcus, understanding doesn't always lead to comfort. Prepare yourself for the truth, no matter how painful. Thanks for the heads up, Marcus replied, his voice tight as he looked at the kids, who still didn't fully understand the gravity of the situation. But I need to know. As they moved toward the door, Marcus's mind raced with all he had yet to learn. With every step, the past beckoned, the shadows growing larger. Would the truth about his mother bring clarity or rip apart what little he thought he knew? In that moment, with uncertainty crackling in the air, he realized this journey would not just reveal his mother's life but reshape his own. What would that mean for them? All? The drive to Jenna's place felt surreal. The world outside blurred into a random collage of shapes and colors as Marcus wrestled with his thoughts. Beside him, Mr. Thompson maintained a watchful eye on both him and the road, while the kids played quietly in the back, oblivious to the turbulence brewing in their father's heart. Each turn took him deeper into the unknown, where every unanswered question tugged at him. What had Jenna discovered about his mother? Could the letters hold the keys to understanding her choices, her pain? Or would they unravel everything he thought he understood about her? Are you okay back there? Mr. Thompson's voice cut through Marcus' swirl of thoughts. Yeah, just a lot running through my mind, Marcus replied, pinching the bridge of his nose. The car fell into a tense silence. It wasn't long before they pulled up in front of Jenna's small apartment building. The shadows stretched long and slim, evening casting a mysterious glow. As they all stepped out, Marcus took a deep breath, bracing himself for what lay ahead. Inside Jenna's apartment, the air felt charged, as if it held the secrets of the past within its walls. The living room was almost cluttered, with stacks of papers and books scattered across the coffee table, but Marcus couldn't focus on the mess. All he could think about were those letters that could potentially change everything. Just give me a second, Jenna said, disappearing briefly into another room. Marcus exchanged glances with Mr. Thompson, who sat down at the edge of the couch, his expression a mix of support and anxiety. The kids started poking around, admiring the colorful knickknacks on the shelves. Max pointed at a glittery figurine. What's this, Daddy? I think it's supposed to be a dragon. Marcus forced a smile, wanting to keep the mood light for them, even as his insides twisted tighter. Jenna returned, holding a manila folder that looked well-worn with age. Okay, here it is, she said, setting it down. Just be careful. Some of these letters are quite personal. I thought they might help you understand her better, but they're also very revealing. Marcus's heart raced. He took the folder, feeling the rough paper between his fingers like it held the weight of his family's history. He hesitated, staring at the worn edges. What secrets lay within? Would it all make sense, or would it tear apart the fabric of his memories? Do you want to read one? Jenna offered softly, her eyes scanning his face, searching for signs of readiness. I think I should, he said finally, voice steady but unsure. He opened the folder, pulling out the first letter, its script elegant yet haunting, a relic from a time before he even existed. Dear Sarah, he read aloud. As the words flowed, the room fell silent. Each sentence bared a deep emotion, likely hidden for far too long, a window into his mother's soul. The letter was filled with longing and apology, revealing a man who seemed desperate to make things right. Marcus's breath hitched as he absorbed every word. The complexities unfolded like layers of a story he had yet to understand fully. What was this man to his mother? What had happened in their lives? The silence was palpable, broken only by the occasional shuffling of the kids. Each letter was a piece of a greater puzzle, and he didn't know if he could handle the picture it would create. Marcus? Mr. Thompson's voice broke in, low and cautious. Are you okay? Do you want to take a break? I just need a minute, he murmured, overwhelmed. But with each revelation in the letter, the chaos within him mixed with a glimmer of clarity. What if this man had turned his mother's life upside down? What if the choices she made weren't just hurtful, but a means to protect herself and him? His fingers began fumbling for another letter, propelled by a mix of fear and determination. Marcus knew he was standing at a crossroads, ready to dive deep into the heart of family secrets. Would he be able to confront the hidden truths, or would they shatter everything he held dear? As he prepared to read on, a new thought struck. Was he ready for what came next? The air grew tense again, an electric charge buzzing between them. What would this new knowledge mean for his future, for his kids, for the memories he cherished? He took a deep breath, clutching the letter tighter, feeling destiny hang in the balance. What would he discover if he continued? Marcus's heart raced as he unfolded the next letter. The scent of aged paper mixed with a hint of something sweet, perhaps Jenna's candle burning in the corner. He tried to focus on the words but found his mind racing with possibilities. With each flick of his thumb, he felt closer to the truth, yet further from the peace he'd always sought. Dear Sarah, he started again, the familiar opening line sinking heavily in his chest. The letter was longer, filled with flowing thoughts that seemed to weave an intricate web of memories. It spoke of laughter shared in the dim light and pain borne silently, of dreams deferred and choices made under pressure. The writer's voice was filled with vulnerability, and as Marcus read, he felt a strange kinship with this man he had never known. It wasn't just his mother's story he was uncovering, it was a tale that echoed his own struggles as a father trying to do right by his children. I never wanted to lose you, the letter confessed. But fear got the best of me. I chose security over love. I see now that was a mistake. Marcus paused, the words burning into his mind. What did this man mean? Was love never enough? Did he, too, fear that he could fail his kids? Memories flooded back, moments where he had lost his temper, times he hadn't known how to be what they needed. The weight of expectations he placed on himself felt suffocating. Are you okay? Jenna's soft voice broke his trance as she leaned closer, worry lining her features. Yeah, it's just a lot, he responded, although the truth was that the revelations were forcing him to confront feelings he had buried deep. The room grew quiet, the kids curiously eyeing their father as though sensing the gravity of the moment. It felt like everyone was holding their breath, waiting for Marcus's next move. He could sense the power of the words affecting them too, even from across the room. He took another deep breath and pressed on with the letter, eager for clarity that felt just out of reach. The letter shifted gears, speaking about regret, pain, and longing, but as he read on, it touched on forgiveness and hope. Maybe it's too late for me, Sarah, but please, don't let our past keep you from finding happiness. You deserve it. Take care of our son. The last words punched him in the gut. A son? This man had a son. Marcus? Mr. Thompson interjected, his concern palpable. What's wrong? Tears threatened to spill as confusion swirled within Marcus. My mother, this man he is saying he has a son. Is that am I? The question hung in the air, heavy with implications. Had he lived under the shadow of a half-hidden family truth all this time? Could it be? He felt dizzy. His mind raced. Maybe that's what Mom kept from me. Jenna placed a gentle hand on his arm. You deserve to know who you are, Marcus. We can figure this out together. But even as she spoke, he sensed the truth elbow its way past the fragile walls he'd built around himself. What if this revelation was only the beginning? What if his beliefs about family and connection called for an entire rewrite? Let us find the rest of them, he declared suddenly. His voice came out stronger than he felt. There was still more to uncover. How many letters were there? How many truths still remained hidden? Marcus knew within him that digging deeper would lead to answers often shrouded in shadows. Each letter brought him closer to understanding not just his mother but himself. He couldn't let his fears hold him back. As he reached for another letter, the door to the apartment creaked unexpected and loud. "Who's that?" Jenna asked, glancing toward the sound, tension wrapped tightly around her words. Marcus stood at the precipice of truth, a shiver running down his spine. Had someone else followed them? Was there more to this story than he dared to imagine? He turned slowly, heart racing, as the door swung open wider, revealing a figure from his past. Marcus. The voice was deep and familiar, sending shockwaves through his body. "We need to talk." What now? Would this lead him closer to the truth or push him into deeper mystery? As the doorway opened wider, reality shifted like shadows across the room. Marcus stared into the face of a man he hadn't seen in years. The resemblance was undeniable. They shared the same intense stare, the same proud posture. Uncle Derek? The name slipped out of his mouth, a thread to the past he never fully understood. "Yes, it's me," Derek admitted, stepping forward, his expression a mix of urgency and guilt. "I've been looking for you." In that moment, Marcus felt as if the ground had opened beneath him. This was not just a chance encounter. It was a reckoning. Jenna exchanged glances with Mr. Thompson, their surprise thick in the air. She stepped back slightly, sensing the ripple of emotions flowing through Marcus. The kids, oblivious to the tidal wave of memories, continued to explore the apartment, unaware they were at the brink of something profound. "Why now?" Marcus shot back, his tone sharp. Anger, resentment, and a sprinkle of love swirled in him. "You disappeared when Mom needed you. Why show up now?" Derek hesitated. Pain flickered in his eyes. "I know. I messed up. But after I heard you were looking for the truth, I realized I couldn't stay hidden any longer." The sudden vulnerability in Derek's voice compelled Marcus to step closer. Could his uncle hold answers to the labyrinth of questions clouding his mind? Had Derek known the full story behind his mother's choices, all those whispered secrets that had lingered since childhood? "You need to hear about your mother, Marcus. There's so much you don't know about that man in the letters." Derek's voice broke slightly, tension threading into the room. "What man?" Jenna interjected, her curiosity piqued, while Mr. Thompson focused on the intricacies unfolding, knowing far more than he had revealed. "The man she loved before she met your father," Derek explained, his voice returning to its steady timbre. "The one who wrote those letters. He wasn't just some passing fling. He was part of a bigger story, a powerful one." "Derek, stop," Marcus interrupted, recalling the words in the letters. They hinted at pain and connection, but they couldn't turn into another wound. Wasn't love complicated enough? But Derek continued, "Marcus, please. Your mother may have distanced herself from us all, but it was to shield you from her past. She thought you'd be better off. I did too. I thought silence would protect you." As Derek's words sank deep, a rush of realization enveloped Marcus. This was not just about history or truths hidden behind closed doors. It was about family and the webs we weave to protect one another. "Are you saying the man in those letters is my father?" Marcus found himself asking, his voice trembling despite the authority it tried to convey. Derek nodded solemnly, his eyes locking onto Marcus's. "Yes. Your father left before you were born, but your mother kept the love, a love rooted in sorrow. She respected you too much to let the past define you." With that, everything fell out from under Marcus. The jagged pieces of grief, loss, and confusion suddenly formed a mosaic that held love instead of pain. His mother lost in the shadows but now illuminated by the truths spilling out. "This isn't so easy," Marcus finally replied, emotion thick in his throat, struggling against accompanied tears. "This shakes everything I thought I knew." "Maybe it's time," Derek offered softly, "to take this journey together. To repaint the picture of family with colors long lost. Your mother wouldn't want you shackled to her fears." The air shifted as Marcus processed the weight of his uncle's words. Memory swirled around him, his mother's laughs, the warmth of her hugs, a legacy built on resilience, woven with love. "Can we start with those letters?" Marcus asked quietly, eager but afraid. He longed for closure, for understanding. He needed to know all that they held. His voice steadied, determination growing. "Can we unveil the truth?" "Yes," Jenna chimed, her gentleness a balm to his anxieties. "It's time to unlock the history that shaped you, all of you." Understanding settled over those gathered like a thin veil as they embraced the monumental changes ahead. Marcus watched his kids play, joy radiating in their innocent laughter. He understood then, the truth wouldn't yoke him, it would set them free. Hand in hand, they would weave a renewed story filled with acceptance, compassion, and the powerful ties of connection. As they delved into family secrets and new revelations, one truth glimmered to the forefront: the love that transcended hardships could ultimately unite them. Their treasure hunt was finally leading them towards something far richer than either of them had imagined. And as the sun dipped low, casting golden light through the windows, Marcus took a deep breath, feeling hope unfurl in his chest. "This is just the beginning," he whispered. The world opened up around him, filled with possibility, love, and the truths that would shape their future. He was ready to move forward, knowing the past, without fear holding him back. Don't wait even a moment longer. You need to subscribe now to get exclusive stories like this and more powerful transformations. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm. We can't do this without your support. Share this journey of love and connection with at least 5 friends. Let them discover the joys of revealing the truth together. Your voice matters.